Good morning, everyone. Hope we're doing okay this morning. Hope
So
so.
I guess we can start off the morning, Tim. I don't know if you've seen, but we've had quite a bit of chatter so far in the Discord
Yeah, I've been trying to
about
keep up with it around my school run, but I'm only catching a little bit of it.
yeah. So
But
do you think a failed breakdown triggered here or not? That's the big kind of question. As Adam in the newsletter had mentioned 49. The day before he had mentioned 47 in the tweet 47. A lot of us are seeing the actual low at 45.
yeah,
So there's a bit of debate here
I mean,
as to
I'll say this: if I didn't have Adam's newsletter at levels, I would definitely be waiting for 45 because
yeah.
I just wouldn't know any better or any different. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I am. But the newsletter says 49, so yeah, we got our what 2 point or one
Yeah, two.
one
Yeah,
point.
one and a.
Yeah,
Yeah, under two.
yeah. For me, I didn't have to worry too much about it because I was driving my kids to school. So,
Yeah, you didn't
but
engage in it anyways. Yeah,
no, just not able to take trades at that time of day, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I mean, Adam said 49 in the newsletter. We often talk about, he's got a certain amount of magic to his levels that none of us really understand.
yeah. To
And this
me,
often
I
happens where he's just able to adjust slightly, and then you get that trigger for a failed breakdown.
I pointed this out, but there technically is this like sort of higher low at 49
Mm-hmm.
from 10:30 a.m. Friday.
Friday.
So I wonder if that's what he was using to get it because uh I can't recall when this was, but I remember there being a time once last year where someone had asked him why he had a different level, and he had mentioned something like that
Mm-hmm.
the real structure was at a couple points above it because we had a mini shelf there. So I wonder.
Yeah, let's see. So from 45, we kind of bounced 17, 18 points, and then dipped back to 49, 50. Yeah, uh, interesting. Definitely a learning point there for, eventually we all need to be able to come up with these levels ourselves. Is the ultimate goal here, right? Adam's not going to be around forever. So that's definitely one to journal a little bit and ponder and maybe take note of when it happens again and try and add a little bit more information to that. Anyway, I know quite a few folks traded it, right?
Yeah, it seems like some did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was there on offering NAP on that one. So in around 55 to 57 ish. Um, and I think there was some mention of, it put in a. Let me just dip down the time frames real quick here. So yeah, we kind of wait. I need to go lower time frame. I'm just dropping to the 2 minute. Technically we had a little bounce from 51. That's a shift key. 51 to 64 ish. So 13 points, not a significant low in its own right, but when we've had these decent flushes, you can kind of trade up, add that as a little bit of confluence when we recover those very small bounce lows as well. But yeah, since then it's been pretty much grind up a little bit of a dip here. So let's get into the plan for today. Um, for me personally, I would still be looking to engage this level if we get like a proper flush under here. I mean, the original newsletter plan was written, look for a test of 35, which is my dashed line below here, and then recoveries of the 49. So if we do get a decent sweep off the open, nice scary flush through that, but then recover, I think that's still a perfectly valid failed breakdown to take, and one I'll be looking to trade for sure. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, so like overall for me at this point, what I'm kind of eyeing is, I obviously now this whole flush of this touch shelf flow we have 40 45 to 49. I'm just gonna call it that zone, right? Ideally, I know Adam had mentioned if we can hit 35 tag, that's a bonus. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping we can almost just sweep it down there and kind of then reclaim that whole area. If not, obviously the bear case does trigger below this. Um, so that is definitely one thing for sure to watch. But below there we do have the 71.21.
Yeah, so below here, the newsletter, the plan is basically exactly the same as yesterday. See if we can head down into the range. Obviously, we built a bit of a balance above the prior balance between 7180 and 7200. We failed back into the lower balance, which was 7085 to the 7180. So let's see if we can maybe put in a back test of 7180. That would be an interesting level to see who wins that fight. But obviously, if we reclaim that, then we'll be working the upper balance, and if not, we'll be heading down the levels, maybe back through the range. So just to zoom out, 71.21 was this low from late day Thursday, and then the golden opportunity today is 70.80 at the bottom of the range. So pretty clear plan, I think. Not too many questions about that.
Yeah. Obviously we're getting a nice sell kind of off the highs and kind of that range, breakout we kind of had above 71.80. And so now we're obviously coming back down into range. Obviously we have a lot of stuff coming out tomorrow in terms of earnings and news events. So let's see kind of what the day unfolds today. The just bigger picture, the higher time frame, a lot of the RSIs are already kind of shot. So that definitely is an interesting telltale sign. But we'll see. Obviously, we'll need some triggers here to get long if you aren't long already. Um, I will mention above us we have the 7180. So if we're not able to dip any further from here and we keep going up, then obviously that 7180 shelf is a valid failed breakdown. It's just that because it's a 30-point sweep, you'd want to make sure that there's clear visible type 1 acceptance. So not type 1 acceptance that you think may occur in 2 minutes or 5 minutes. It would need to be type 1 acceptance that you could clearly see on a 15-minute chart, for example, that we've back tested the level, we've sold off X amount of points. You almost want, I think, the way I like to think about it is with these deeper sweeps, you almost want to look for somewhat of a higher low to form, right? That way, for one, you don't need a 30-point structural stop. And then secondly, you also know that there's been some acceptance.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is that's definitely a potential level I'm going to watch as well. If we get a nice opening drive here, back test, dips, it sucks people in on the short side. Looks like it's going to fail. Like you say, sets that higher low and then comes back up for a nice clean type one. Okay, well, I don't have anything else to add really. Those are the kind of levels for the day. So 71.80 above for a reclaim with clear acceptance. 71.49 with proper flush this time, and hopefully a bit of acceptance, one or two on the way back up. 71.21, same story there really. And then the ideal one would be 70.80 to traverse the full range. And then look for a move back up through this range. So, yep. Any final comments? I don't have anything else to.
No, Adam did respond, by the way, to someone asking
Mm-hmm.
about kind of this, and he actually said, newsletter said to wait for 47 or a failed breakdown of 47. technically we never got a field breakdown of 47 either. So I'm not sure. It's a little unclear to me if he's taken this or not. Based off that last tweet, maybe he hasn't. If he's
News
waiting for
letter said
47 field breakdown.
47. I must be mistaken. I think it's
No, the newsletter said 49, but he just tweeted saying the newsletter said if it's a controlled sell into 47, one can try the bid or wait for the failed breakdown there. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know every once in a while we have these discrepancies with the levels. I'm not sure sometimes if it's a typo from Adam. Sometimes I know it has been occasionally he's mentioned it's been typos. Sometimes I know he just is looking at something a little bit differently. Um, and then sometimes, um, what's it called? Like there will kind of just, he's just kind of a tilde, like he's just kind of,
yeah.
maybe zoomed out and just looking like, hey, it's near this area. So they'll
No,
break down this area.
I'm looking at the newsletter now. It says nothing below there until 71.49. This is decent support.
Yeah. Well, do you remember last week, although we had that failed breakdown of 71.21, and there was big debates again whether or not it triggered in the trade recap, he recapped how like, hey, if you actually look at the low, it was at 7120.75. Like he went into um a bit of a detail about like what the exact low was and why it did trigger or didn't trigger. So like ultimately, the actual process of failed breakdown needs to occur where we trap that significant low. And I mean, we all can see right on the chart where these significant lows are. It's not like those can't necessarily hide anywhere. You either sweep it or you don't.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of my 2 cents on it. I just, for me personally, I like to make sure that I can also see the failed breakdown myself.
Yeah, for sure. Admin's just commenting in the chat here that the point about from the newsletter, just quoting verbatim, if it's a control grind into the zone, one can try the bid here. And yeah, I think he's expecting that's probably what Adam did. Okay, well, with that, let's see what the opening drive brings. It should be an interesting opening 15 minutes or so. Hopefully get that flush. I'd rather be trading lower than trying to take a stab at 71.80 above, but we'll see. We can't
Yep.
choose. Alrighty.
Sounds good. Alrighty, guys.